You're listening to the Telltale Channel. Don't forget to check me out on all social media: Patreon, Twitter, Teespring, and Etsy. All links can be found in the description or on my website, telltaleatheist.com. Hey, this is Owen. If you're comfortable, leave your first name and state at the sound of the tiny truck backing up.
I am Leo Mullahan. I'm from West Virginia. So pretty much my question is just, some congregations of Jehovah's Witnesses are less extreme. So, for example, my congregation in Spencer, West Virginia, they were like okay with blood transfusions if it was like life or death. So why do you think that some areas are more extreme while others aren't?
It's a really good question. I can't imagine a Jehovah's Witness congregation being okay with a blood transfusion if it was life or death. I absolutely cannot imagine that. If the organization, like the circuit overseer who visits there once every couple of months, found out about that stance, everybody in that congregation would be disfellowshipped. That is an extremely serious thing for Jehovah's Witnesses, the blood transfusion thing. They will sacrifice their lives for that belief. Now, there is some give in some areas of the belief. For example, when I was growing up, playing Pokemon in my congregation was okay. It was not okay for some other congregations. Reading Harry Potter books was okay in some congregations, not in mine. Was not allowed to read Harry Potter in my congregation, for example. Dating outsiders, there is some give depending on the type of situation you're in. I had a patron at one point who was dating a Jehovah's Witness, and he was not a Jehovah's Witness. But the reason that the congregation was okay with that at the time is because apparently he lived basically in the middle of nowhere in like the Netherlands, and you had to take like a plane to get to the closest grocery store or whatever. And the congregation was so far away from the people who lived in the area that they only met once a month at the congregation instead of 2 or 3 times a week because the houses were spaced so far apart. So there is give in different areas depending on this thing or that thing, depending on the circumstances. Blood transfusions is not one of the things that there's give on. Absolutely not. So I find it very, very interesting that your congregation was okay with that. That is deviating from the core belief system so much that it's basically at risk of becoming its own sect at that point. That's really interesting.